There are two facts you need to know. 1. There are about 36 neurosurgeons in Nigeria and perhaps on average, one neurosurgeon for 5 million Nigerians. There are 4 neurosurgeons in Abuja, FCT, and 4 in Lagos. There are about 6 in Ibadan and 5 in Enugu. It is important to note that most of the neurosurgeons are in the big cities. This means that the vast majority of Nigerians, especially in the rural areas, have no access to neurological services. 2. When I pray for good health, long life and prosperity. I do not pray for money. Money and material wealth are important for daily living, but do not rule my life. The most important ingredient for a great life is actually abundance of good health. For instance, no amount of money is enough to treat stroke, spinal cord injury or cancer. Better, therefore, to pray not to have any of these diseases. Better than just praying, is to actively prevent them from happening to you. If you don't try to prevent diseases, then start saving money for treatment. Sorry, I digressed. If there are 36 neurosurgeons in Nigeria and there are 36 states in the federation, it would be great if each state had a neurosurgeon and full facility to offer neurological services. This ensures a nationwide coverage. Then, access would be increased and these centers could build and develop for the future, increasing the training and yield of neurosurgeons for the country. Armed with the desire to help and the foregoing information, how can the states without neurological services acquire their own neurosurgeon and thus, develop the practices highlighted above? Contact with the devil. You take a plan, proposal or even just an idea to a director, commissioner, minister or a governor. If you are lucky, they might reject it outright and be done with it. If not, they might reject it and then surreptitiously rebrand it, and implement it as their own creation. They may, very, very rarely, adopt the plan and move swiftly to implementation. Or, of course, they may sit down with you and try to work out the sharing formula as you implement the program. That is crunch time. Dinner with the devil. Our people in positions of authority appear to be instinctively corrupt and do not seem to have the interest of Nigerians at heart. There is apparently systematic corruption inbuilt to fail Nigeria at every level. Many people now have a medical condition called "what is in it for me" syndrome. Everything must lead to some immediate monetary value for them and they seek all opportunities to defraud the treasury. So, acquiring a neurosurgeon and setting up a neurological service is immediately seen as a veritable means of acquiring wealth. Okay, so now they are wringing their hands and already calculating how much money might drop from this new venture to bring a practice of neurosurgery into being. In my short time since returning to Nigeria, I have become aware of chief medical directors who, when asked to buy equipment, procure cheap, refurbished, degraded equipment at huge expense and force the staff to accept and use them. They buy through their cronies or conniving middlemen, and never directly from the manufacturers, in return for a share of the cost. So, what if the equipment fails to work? It means the contract has to be re-awarded, more money to share. At the expense of fellow Nigerians. There is a state in Nigeria which has employed foreign doctors as specialists in its hospitals. These people are paid in dollars for providing substandard care for the people. But, of course, some officials are benefiting from the misery of the people. Foreign fodder. Many Nigerian neurosurgeons and other doctors in the diaspora are eager to return home to help. The few that have made the effort have been frustrated at the dinner table of the devil. The returning Nigerian doctors are not made to feel welcome. Many are treated as foreign fodder, used and abused. Should we not be creating a favorable environment for these trained doctors to come in and contribute to the development of the health sector, which we all agree is in a shambles? Coming back home creates more jobs for the average Nigerian. The doctors come back with skills and funds to open new practices, explore new ideas and new treatments. They can also increase the employment of nurses and other allied staff, thereby creating more jobs for youths. But to work in the public sector means dining with the devil. Dessert at the devil's table. The quandary is simple: to dine with the devil, lose your morality and succumb to the corruption, if it leads to the provision of the aforementioned services, or to eschew corruption in all its ramifications and therefore, we continue as we were? Or is there a middle ground? Can you lose your morality, perhaps for a little while, in order to save more people? This means just eating dessert with the devil and skipping the main meal. Perhaps this is a bit more palatable and easy to digest. Or perhaps, do what the Indians have done, by opening mega private hospitals that provide cheap care for the poor and charge expensively the rich, who end up subsidizing health care. It also might open up the vista for medical tourism to Nigeria. Is this, therefore, the answer? The neurosurgeons can open up private neurosurgical hospitals in partnership with the public sector to provide services for the people. Of course, I have used neurosurgery for my analogy, but this could easily apply to other services and specialists that are sorely needed in Nigeria. Menus please.